I am joining you guys from a British dressage camp. I haven't actually done one of these camps for probably about 5 or 6 years, like since I was quite a lot younger. I wasn't meant to be doing the camp. My mum had actually booked a space to take Dubai, but she could no longer come, so I've decided to bring Mayo instead, and I'm very excited. It's actually his first ever sort of like stay away event. Like I've taken him to a few shows, to a few clinics, but I've never actually taken him anywhere and stabled him overnight and sort of kept him away from home, if that makes sense. So it's going to be really good for him. He's going to be absolutely exhausted. I reckon after our first lesson, he's honestly probably going to crash. But I think it's going to be so good for him, a really good learning curve, and hopefully quite fun if I can stay on and hopefully not fall off, because he's a little bit feisty. He's a little bit of a feisty man. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are like familiar with sort of how these camps work, but we've got a lesson, well, I've got a lesson at 1 o'clock today, and we do some Pilates, and then we also do a test ride. I am going to just have a little snacky snack because I'm a little bit hungry, and then I'm going to head over to Mayo and start getting him ready. I think I'm going to pop his massage rug, the Equisage, on and give him a little massage. And then yeah, just try and get him clean because he is literally so dirty. We left to come up yesterday and I was working in the morning, so I didn't really have time to like give him a proper bath, do you know what I mean? And everything was a bit last minute and nothing's really that clean. Classic. When is my horse ever clean? Honestly, the day that I come on this channel and my horse is clean, I deserve like 1 million subscribers and like 1 million views on all my videos. Please praise me, reward me. But yeah, he's very dirty, so I'm gonna head over, try and clean him up. Do you know what? I'm obviously still on my the drugs for my skin, and it's so dry. Literally, I don't know, all the fucking spots are just not vibing, and the skin is not vibing, it's not thriving, everything's a little bit sore, a little bit itchy. I just want to take off all my makeup. Not confident enough for that yet. One day I will be, I promise. But yeah, I'm gonna have a little snack and then head over and start getting him ready for my lesson. This is gonna start being a very fun game, knocking your water over, isn't it? Here we go. Here we go. So in our first lesson, he started off quite backwards, and I explained to my trainer that is his sort of go to when I take him out. He's quite a nervous thing. Rather than getting hot, he normally goes quite backwards. Very spooky, and he could verge on the side of being a little bit nappy. So yeah, so basically our approach today was to actually get him a little bit hotter and to get him a little bit jazzier, to get him a little bit fresher, and to just sort of learn to ride and control that energy, if that makes sense. Because I've sort of always backed off of him when he's backed off himself, and then we end up with him reversing, with him spinning, and just with me sort of not being able to actually get my leg on him. So rather than sort of keep kicking him, we were using noises with him today to try and get him just sort of focusing on me a little bit more. And we got the trot quite forward, we pushed him quite forward and tried to get the frame a little bit longer as well, while still keeping enough of a contact in case he does go for a spin. But I was really pleased with how the trot was feeling. So we sort of were doing like short bursts, giving him lots of walk breaks, and just trying to keep it a little bit fun for him. You will see in a minute, he did have a couple of big spins on him in this session. It's all very new for him. The indoor school is right next to sort of like a gallery, and there were people sort of walking up and down the gallery, and he found that very scary. But I just really enjoyed riding him in this sort of slight different way. Just sort of keeping him, yeah, really thinking forward, really engaging with the sort of on and backs. I think it could be now that he has a spook and I literally nearly fall off. Oh no, it's in a minute. It's coming, guys, I promise. But yeah, once we get the trot just a little bit more swingy, we then start bringing in some leg yields and just doing a little bit more sideways stuff. It could be here. There we go. I so nearly came off. I literally, when I say to you, I saw the ground. So yeah, once I realised that he had that in him today as well, I started doing a lot more sort of shoulder fours and just really focusing on keeping him around my inside leg. And what came with that was a little bit of tension, was a little bit of sort of short in the neck. But do you know what, guys? I'm all for having them long in the neck and relaxed over their backs. But when you're going to end up on the ground with a baby, I think if you've got to have them a little bit more together, I honestly don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's not perfect. It's very, very far from perfect. But I value my life. I really do. It is currently nearly 4 o'clock. I have got my test riding at 4:45, so I'm just going to get myself ready and head over and get him ready, and then we're just going to run through a test. I think it's novice 37, but I'm very conscious that I don't want to like overdo it with him. So a lot of people are sort of like going in, having a lesson and then running through the test and then having feedback and then re-going through it, but I think he's going to be absolutely exhausted, so I might just see if I can go and like just do a test, get a little bit of feedback and then call it a day for him. I was so pleased with how he was earlier. I might do a little bit of a voiceover with some of the video from earlier to sort of explain what we were doing, but it was mainly just sort of getting him forward, getting him responsive, getting him reactive, because he can be quite a backwards little horse, and that backwardsness can sometimes come out with a little bit of attitude. So we're just really trying to get him sort of thinking forward towards the things that he's sort of spooking out, the things he's not sure about. I did nearly fall off him earlier, very nearly. Managed to save it. we were basically like, I don't know if I got it on video, but we were going towards like the window by the indoor school, and someone in there like flapped a rubbish bin, I think, apparently. And I went back into the like cafe bit afterwards and everyone was like, oh my god, like, so sorry, how did you sit, that sort of thing. So everyone's got a little bit of a joke about that. Everyone's like, are you the girl on the grey that nearly fell off? I was like, yeah, that was me. But no, I'm so pleased with him. So yeah, just gonna get myself ready. I'm lacking in energy a little bit. I'm not really much of a afternoon rider, I'm much more of a morning girl, so I need to crack the whip and get going. But yeah, hopefully he's a good boy. So then it was time for our test riding, and I'm gonna put myself on the in the firing line with this a little bit. So I'm gonna actually show you my whole test. So He came out of the stable feeling really fresh and having lots of energy, and I didn't actually quite expect that, but it was perfect. This was literally just a practice test ride, so we could go through it sort of as many times as we wanted within reason, and just really sort of school him through it. So yeah, I did novice 37. As you can see, going down the centre line, he was just really wibbly wobbly, looking at everything, getting very distracted. But it was just so nice to be able to go in there and just school him through it and sort of try and work him through his tension that you can obviously sort of quite clearly see he's got, and just not have the pressure of it actually being a proper competition. So yeah, his thing when he gets tense is to come short in the neck, as you can see, which especially at sort of prelim novice level, the judges really don't like, which is understandable. So that's sort of normally where I lose my marks. So it's difficult. I don't feel like I'm at a stage where I can like sort of give him the contact and really try and get that neck sort of longer and lower, just because he can feel like a slight unexploded bomb, and yeah, I just don't really want to be giving my contact away that much at the moment. So it's sort of finding that balance. But yeah, as you guys can probably see, he just gets a little bit distracted. He's a little bit spooky, and this just shows in our marks. I don't know what that was a spook at. But yeah, this is all the kind of stuff I get when I take him out to compete at the moment. So coming away from this, I think I've sort of decided to maybe stick with going sort of to training things at the moment, maybe competing him HC, rather than sort of actually going for it, and actually, yeah, just I do think I'm going to keep him. I don't think I'm really going to sell him, but I'm conscious at the moment we're going out and not getting the best scores, which is fine. I really don't mind, but I'd just rather wait until he's got a little bit more experience, he's a little bit more confident, and we can go out and give it sort of a bit of a better shot. So yeah, he was sort of starting to feel a little bit more relaxed at this point. I don't know if you'll be able to hear over the voiceover, but he could see a horse down there and he was a little bit screamy, a little bit shouty, and that was distracting him as well. Every time we sort of turned to go back down that way, he'd really back off me. So like with this medium trot, I really struggled, as you can see. He's just sort of being a little bit nappy. He's noticed the horse down there. He's a little bit distracted, and we try and get into our canter here, and it's just everything's a little bit messy, as you can see. But I tried not to make a big deal out of it. I just brought him back to walk, and that's the great thing with doing the test riding and going to these things where you can sort of run through the test and there's no pressure. Like, I just added an extra circle. Asked for the transition again. I don't think I got it this. Oh no, I did get it the second time. So just gave him a little pat, a little scratch, and then just carried on with the rest of the test. And as you can see, I've actually got quite a lot of right flexion going down there, but I just wanted to try and keep him sort of as around my inside leg as possible. And yeah, it is just more of a safety thing at the moment, with him being a little bit fresh and with everything being very new. So yeah, I was quite pleased with that canter circle, and then it was time to go across the diagonal. And with this test, I absolutely hate it. The give and retake over the centre line, and my give and retakes are awful. I don't know why I lift my hands up so high. I've always been taught to sort of offer them sort of towards the bit, but looking back at it, I need to improve on that. But yeah, the same thing with this canter transition, just something down there was very, very scary, very, very scary. And as you can see here, he's really sort of napping, trying to get back up to the other end of the school, and I just could not get that left canter transition. These are sort of his weaknesses anyway at home, his canter transitions, but obviously with the added stress of there being something a little bit spooky down that end made it even harder. I think there's someone walking their dogs in the minute, and he just did not enjoy that. But it's fine, I just gave him a little pat, told him it was all okay, and still tried to get him forward off of my leg. And I think I finally get the canter in a minute, and then we're off. Oh, no, no, no. And yeah, please don't give me any hate for this. I'm trying to be really transparent with you guys, especially with having a young horse. And you know, this is sort of my first time with a young horse. I had Bumble, but I had a lot more sort of riding influence from other people with him, so I can't really sort of claim that I did that myself. So yeah, I just want to sort of be transparent with the young horse process in case any of you guys are going through something similar as well, and just to sort of like trust the process as well. Like, I've been out a few times and got some sort of bad marks and been a little bit disheartened by it, but sort of watching back the video, I can see there are some really nice smart moments, and the marks are just lost from him being green. You know, the test is extremely inaccurate, he's tight in the neck, a little bit tense, but I think it's just about riding them through it and giving them as much sort of positive experience as you can, really. That's my opinion anyway. Oh, that's nice and warm. Definitely. That was so nice, Sarah. You could just keep going after you got it right. Pardon? I know. I was like, I'm just going to do another circle. Yeah. Another circle. No, it's good. His spin on him is actually getting quite quick.
It is, yeah, of course. Definitely. Yeah. What time are you up today?
Everyone, sorry, I don't know where to put my camera. Literally, we're like mid packing away the lorry, so everything's a little bit all over the place. But I just wanted to jump on here and just let you guys know that I literally had the best time at camp. It was so much fun, it was so good, and I can really feel a difference with Mayo's way of going as well, which is amazing. I think I might do a little bit of a voiceover over our lessons and sort of explain what we were doing, but yeah, I've taken away some real good, positive methods to just try and get him more confident when we take him out, which is super exciting. So yeah, I think moving forward I'm definitely going to try and book a few more competitions and maybe just go HC potentially, and just sort of expose him to as much as I can, do as many training things as I can, and just really get him out there, because he feels great, he's got energy, he's just ready to go, I think. And yeah, it's so refreshing to have a horse that wants to work and enjoys his work. I don't know if you guys like have watched me with Bumble before, but my previous horse, he was a completely different horse. He was very tense, he was a worrier, he didn't particularly like going out, he didn't particularly like doing much ridden other than walking on a long rein round the block, hacking around the farm. So to actually have something like Mayo that's so, he's just so happy and proud about life. That's the sort of vibe I get from him. It's so nice and it's so refreshing and just really enjoyable. So yeah, I'm feeling motivated, I'm feeling positive, which is really nice. But yeah, now it's just the fun bit of packing everything away, emptying his stable, taking away all the shavings. I've actually packed some shavings to take back with us because cost of living, guys, the cost of shavings at the moment is not fun. So I'm trying to, you know, make the most of the 2 bells that we paid for here. So yeah, so thank you all so much for coming along with me. I hope you enjoyed the little sort of like behind the scenes of the camp, and yeah, stay tuned for more action with me and May.